So, as the sun is going down and as those last images leave your mind, you awake with a jolt and look around the room and see you're once again in the stone cavern next to that very sad smiley face next to you and carved in the wall. And you notice that there's not a single person in the room. What do you do?
Harmon sits up, shakes his head a little bit to get a little bit of clarity, looks around and says, "Hello? Hello?" And then realizes no one's there. Oh man. What happened? Oh my gosh, I had this crazy dream. Oh, you know what? I do remember that we can communicate with each other using our communicator.
As you pull out your communicator, before you do, I would like you to make a quick perception check.
Perception check. Dirty 20.
Damn. Okay. So as you go to pull out your communicator, you're kind of out of the corner of your eyes, you see this tall, like red figure, just kind of seemingly too big for the building, as it's kind of crouched down in on itself, just staring at you from the tunnel that once threatened you with zombies. You notice that thing's kind of staring at you.
Harmon turns and sees this thing in the corner of his eye and looks up and says, "Holy crap, what is that? Hello, can you speak?" And I address the red figure directly.
It doesn't respond and just looks at you.
Okay. I guess not. Can you understand me? Nod your head if you can understand me.
It just kind of once again looks at you.
Okay. Well, I mean no harm. I hope you don't either. In where we come from, to show that we mean no harm, I will slowly extend my hand for a handshake. If you are friendly, could you reach out and extend your hand to me as well?
It stands up a bit, or not a bit, but it begins to move towards you. And right before it gets in contact with you, it grabs your wrist and everything goes dark. Who's standing closest to the door in the cottage, by the way?
I don't think we really decided on that.
If you guys want to quickly figure out who's standing closest to the door, roughly, what order you guys went into the house, at least.
It would be either me or Peter, because Woldo said he was going first.
I do feel like I was following closer behind her, but
I would think that it would probably be Peter closest, because he would be the most reluctant to be going in.
No, I agree with that.
Probably.
I'm gonna say that both Peter and Morden are both at the door, kind of at the same distance.
Okay.
I'd like you guys to please make a perception check.
Perception is 10. No.
14.
Sorry. 13.
22.
Not you.
I was actually gonna ask him to make a roll as well. Just for something else.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was
cool,
all of us, but
it's cool. I was gonna ask you to make a roll anyway, because
Okay.
I just kind of thought of a way to kind of incorporate the roll.
Back you into that one.
As you're all standing there, Woldiv, you notice the elven, as she's about to start explaining, her eyes go wide and her face goes pale for a moment as she stares out the door at something that sorry, who rolled the 14?
I did.
All right, that more than you, and you also kind of turn around to see it as well, and you notice this tall, four-armed figure that's almost seeming to have the consistency of like a slime or some sort of goo, kind of drop an unconscious Harmon at the door outside.
Outside, okay.
Looks at you all, kind of looks at the priestess, and you see this as well, Woldiv, and kind of drops into a puddle and then disappears.
It drops him into a puddle?
No, It drops into a puddle, not
Oh,
Harmon's still
it
there.
drops into the puddle. It didn't drop Harmon into the puddle. Okay, sorry.
Harmon's dead now. He's gone. Bye.
He's puddleified.
He's puddle.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was like a puddle of water, and he dropped. But you're
No.
saying that the red creature kind of.
Yeah. It's,
Okay,
Melted
it's
into
I
in
understand now. I'm back. I'm on the right page now. It might not be the right book, but it's the right page.
Well, Dove, was that the thing that you saw?
It was the thing that I saw, correct?
yeah, it's in
Yeah.
the important. It's in important notes for what you guys all saw.
I do believe that is the same creature, but what is he doing, or what is it doing with Harmon?
I don't know, but I don't think we should be leaving him out there.
Harmon, you are conscious. Your vision kind of comes back to you as it dropped you, and you see the door.
I would like to clear the door and open it and drag Harmon inside.
I'm gonna help him clear away that door.
All right, you guys get Harmon back inside.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna?
I would
block the door
also
back
like
up?
to
We're blocking
re-block
up the door again, yes.
There it is. Yeah. I assumed, but I
I
figured
was waiting for that to be my task because the other
It
two
was
jumped
coming.
on saving him a little bit.
Well, we were
Right.
closest to the door.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's why I was going to wait and help block it back up, or explain to the priestess why we were taking down her fortifications.
The priestess, or what you assume to be the priestess, kind of seemed to already be almost on her way to go help before those two jumped in and helped. And now Harmon is in the room, and you now also notice an elven lady who is actually she's just up a little bit in the chat above the house, and you also see the room that's in the important notes chat.
What? Where am I?
Harmon, my good fellow companion. How did you get here? It seems that we left you behind, but it's purely
I don't
unintentionally. But
I don't know. I mean, I fell asleep and I had this crazy dream, and then when I woke up, I saw this four-armed red guy, and he kind of freaked me out. So I tried to introduce myself to him, and I extended a hand for a handshake, and he reached out and touched my forearm and grabbed my wrist, and all of a sudden, I'm back here at this strange house.
can we look over Harmon to make sure he is not injured in any way? I imagine that's what we would probably want to do.
Yeah, just make a quick, I guess, investigation roll.
11.
He's fine.
6.
Fine.
Well, I can breathe a sigh of relief, relax a bit.
Harmon, do you care to share this dream with us, or is it of no consequence?
Oh, it probably meant something. Give me a moment to recall this dream. I mean, it's quite vivid. Let me just make sure I've got all the details right. Harmon sits there and kind of ponders and scratches his chin, and then begins to recall his dream. So, the last thing that I remember after I fell asleep for my long rest, I was greeted by some kind of pitch black darkness, and it completely masked anything you could see or hear. So I couldn't speak, or if I tried to speak, or if I tried to yell, you could hear nothing. It's like I was mute. I couldn't even hear myself breathe. And I'm staying in this darkness for what feels like days. And it's like one of those darknesses that almost drives you crazy. It's like a deafening silence. You can't hear, you can't speak, you can hardly think. You can't even hear yourself thinking, which is weird. And then all of a sudden, I began to hear some talking. I can't identify it quite yet. Slowly, these talking gets louder and louder until it sounds like it's standing directly next to me. And I look over and I can't see what it is. So I don't know who it is. But after a few moments, these voices that now sound close to like 100 people screaming in fear and pain, it just like blasts into my hearing. Like I hear this screaming all around me, but it only lasts for a few moments before the silence falls again, and I'm back in the quiet and darkness. And then out of the corner of my eye, a subtle light appears, and I feel my body begin to move towards it. After a period of walking, I see and enter a hallway filled with faceless shadows walking back and forth and back and forth. Some seem to talk in some kind of a whisperish language. I can't seem to pinpoint it, while others seem to be in a hurry as they're running back and forth past me. Behind me, I hear two familiar voices, and as I turn around, I see myself dressed purely in white. As I'm dressed in this pure white outfit, I turn and see next to me standing a wood elf with light brown hair, and I'm trying to recall who this is. But after a few moments, I realize the other person is Waldorf. He is also dressed in complete white from head to toe. Um, as as both of us begin to talk, the words seem muffled. Soon after I identify as Moldor or Waldorf, I'm sorry, I feel the floor fall through into darkness, and before I land in a large room of dark red bricks, with red vines and plants scattered all about, and then growing in large clumps. As I observe the room, I hear an echoey, raspy breathing voice, and I slowly turn my head to be met with three black skulls sharing one giant skeletal body. I've never seen this thing, and it only seems to include the ribs and a spine. I wake up once the creature launches a flashing white smoking skull towards me. And then that's where I woke up and there was no one around me. And I see this red figure and I reach out and touch, and here I am.
Waldo
That-
gives me nightmares too.
Now, Morden, I think we should pay more heed to Good Harmon's dream here. I do feel like there may be a touch of truth into it, though I do not recall him from a previous life. Or do I now? Do I get a chance to maybe recall him?
You can make a roll, and if anyone else wants to make a roll on what that skeletal thing was, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Skeletal.
Just be wisdom.
19.
Make a
19.
constitution check for me. Constitution check.
Constitution as well?
Constitution. Saving throw, actually. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So saving throw Constitution, is that no different than a regular Constitution, though, right?
If you're proficient in the saving throw, then you would get your proficiency bonus.
Okay, no, mine's the exact same. It's just a plus
Okay.
1. So 13 on the con. So 19 on the wisdom, 13 on the con.
12 on
As
the
you-
con.
It's your con. Wait, was it 12?
12 for
Alright.
the Constitution, yeah.
As you guys attempt to remember this, you think you grasp it before suddenly a very harsh, like burning pain fills your heads. As like, oh, one of the worst migraines, or not even migraine, almost feels as if your head's on fire for a few moments before it dies down, and you remember nothing. You can't quite place it, though it does sound familiar, as though it did happen. You can't place where, when, or how. And you know you've heard of this creature before, but you can't place it. You don't know what it is.
If can I turn to the priestess? Well, she was obviously, this is a small enough room. She's overheard this story. Yeah. And ask her, does this seem familiar to you, good priestess? Do you perhaps recognize this creature that my good companion Harmon is discussing?
She looks horrified. And she looks at you all, and she looks at you almost as if she's seeing you in a new light, and goes, "It was you. You were the ones who." And suddenly her look becomes solemn, and she goes towards the carpet in the middle of the room, and then looks at you all and goes, "This is your fault. You will fix it."